Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have now the press statements of the Minister, Mrs. Odobescu, and the Foreign Minister of Azerbaijan, Mr. Bayramov. Your Excellency, Minister, you have the floor. Good morning, Minister, dear Jeyhun. Thank you for your presence in Bucharest and the opportunity to have an open and extensive dialogue on a wide range of current topics. Your visit is a proof of the close relations that Romania and Azerbaijan have been developing for over 30 years. First of all, let me use this moment to reiterate, both on my behalf and on behalf of Romania, the solidarity and support towards all those who have suffered and whose lives have changed dramatically, tragically, fundamentally, whether we talk about the Russian Federation's war of aggression against Ukraine or the recent events in Israel and Gaza. From whatever position we look at the world, we are all witnesses of events laden with pain and suffering. We all have an obligation to work hard to defend our democratic values and principles of international law and to strengthen the rules-based international order. Returning to the agenda of today's consultation, we had a very consistent dialogue and an applied exchange of views. We discussed, of course, about the continuation of the bilateral dialogue at a sustained pace, but also about issues on the international agenda, especially the security situation, both in the South Caucasus region and in the Black Sea region. We reviewed the state of the political and diplomatic dialogue between Romania and Azerbaijan. We have a common assessment of the very good level and substance of the bilateral contacts. We agreed to maintain this positive and fruitful dynamic, as well as to deepen the cooperation in areas of particular significance, such as transport, energy, investments, agriculture, and education. Azerbaijan remains an important partner of Romania and of the EU, not only through its contribution to ensuring European energy security, but also through its geostrategic relevance along the transport corridors that connect Europe to Asia. Azerbaijan is Romania's main economic partner in the South Caucasus. We talked today about the acceleration of our country's efforts for the fastest possible operationalization of the Black Sea, Caspian Sea international transport route. This initiative that we've been developing together with Georgia and Turkmenistan will allow to attract new flows of goods from South Caucasus, Central Asia and Asia-Pacific region, turning the ports on the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea into important transit centers on the east-west axis. I reiterated Romania's first support for the full normalization of the relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Our position is clear and consistent: sustainable, negotiated settlement, respecting the principles of international law of all outstanding issues. So I want to express Romania's interest in the mediation efforts made by the President of the European Council. For Romania, it's very important for the South Caucasus, which is a neighboring region on the other side of the Black Sea, to have security, stability and peace. These are the basic premises for ensuring overall prosperity and development, for capitalizing on the region's immense potential in all aspects. We believe that the European Union can play a more important and more substantial role in these directions because it has the political will, the tools and the necessary capacities. Last but not least, I reconfirmed Romania's clear position regarding Russia's Federation war of aggression against Ukraine. I presented the firm multidimensional support that Romania has granted and continues to give to Ukraine. Ukraine must continue to be supported. In a few days, we expect a positive report of the European Commission regarding the launch of accession negotiations with Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova. With the Minister's permission, I would like to briefly refer to the crisis in the Middle East, especially to the situation in the Gaza Strip. I would like to remind you that Romania has condemned in the strongest possible terms the terrorist attack by Hamas and supports Israel's right to defend itself in line with the international laws and international humanitarian law. Romania requests the release of all hostages without preconditions, including the 6 citizens that have a double citizenship, Israeli and Romanian, that are in the Gaza Strip. At the same time, we are deeply concerned, and it's our shared duty to do everything in our power to protect the lives of innocent civilians, to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and to avoid regional escalation of the conflict. On these levels, we acted in a concerted manner with our partners, and I'm in contact with the counterparts in the region and with Romania's international partners. Also, our country has already approved the delivery of 230 tons of emergency humanitarian aid to the civilian population in the Gaza Strip. Regarding the evacuation from the Gaza Strip, at the moment, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the crisis cell and the diplomatic missions in the region, is ready to provide the necessary support for the evacuation of the Romanian citizens and their family members from the Gaza Strip. We also maintain dialogue with the Israeli and Egyptian authorities, with the EU delegation in Cairo, and with the diplomatic missions accredited in Cairo, which still have citizens in the Gaza Strip. We want to have a close coordination to evacuate our citizens. At the moment, the Romanian embassy to Cairo is supported by 2 teams for a fast, rapid reaction unit of the ministry. More than 260 Romanian citizens and family members from the Gaza Strip have notified themselves to the Romanian representation office in Ramallah with a view to evacuation, and we are keeping contact with them. Unfortunately, the situation on the ground does not allow to evacuate foreign citizens from Gaza, as the border point is still blocked. Unblocking negotiations continue between the stakeholders. The crisis cell of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs continues its sustained efforts on all mentioned levels in order to evacuate the Romanian citizens. At the end, I would like to thank the Minister. Thank you once again for the open discussions and the extensive discussions we have today, and thank you for your commitment in deepening and strengthening the Romanian-Azerbaijani relations. You have the floor.
Madam Minister, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first let me express my sincere gratitude for the warm hospitality extended to me and my delegation during our visit to Romania. Today we had a productive meeting with my dear colleague, Minister Luminita Teodora Odobescu, and exchanged views on current status and future development of our strategic partnership. Last year, we celebrated the 30th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between our countries. All these years, relations between Azerbaijan and Romania demonstrated increasing dynamism generated by mutual high-level visits. In this regard, we recalled with pleasure the recent visit and close contacts between the leaders, Azerbaijan and Romania. These contacts constitute a solid base for our bilateral relations in general and political dialogue in particular. Based on this political dialogue, Azerbaijan and Romania reached a point where both countries enjoy effective interstate relations, interparliamentary collaboration, mutually beneficial cooperation within international organizations, multidimensional economic partnership, as well as humanitarian exchanges. Today, we had a good opportunity to once again look into areas of cooperation between Azerbaijan and Romania, covering political, economic, energy, humanitarian, and other dimensions, as well as exchange views on international and regional developments. Touching upon our political interaction, we underlined the profound importance of political consultations between the ministries of foreign affairs of the two countries and expressed our common willingness to hold the next round of these consultations at the earliest convenience for both sides. At the same time, close cooperation between legislative bodies of Azerbaijan and Romania, reciprocal visits of our legislators play an important role in enriching the agenda of interstate relations and deepening the existing friendly relations. Romania was the second country to recognize the independence of Azerbaijan back in 1991. Romania has continuously shown solid support to Azerbaijan's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Availing myself this opportunity, I would like to once again express our appreciation for Romania's constant support to Azerbaijan's just position. Today, we also had a chance to exchange views on ways to increase beneficial cooperation within international organizations, including mutual support to each other's candidacies and initiatives. Dear colleagues, the trade turnover between our countries has been growing in the past 4 years. By the end of 2022, it surpassed $500 million for the first time in bilateral relations history. The positive trend is continuing in 2023 as well. The figures for the first 9 months already reached $526 million. Speaking of energy cooperation, we welcomed successful operation of SOCAR Petroleum SA in Romania. We underlined the potential in green energy spheres as envisaged in the agreement on strategic partnership in the development and transmission of green energy between the governments of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Georgia, Romania, and Hungary, signed last year here in Bucharest. However, mutual investments between Azerbaijan and Romania so far do not correspond to our bilateral trade. This means that there is clearly a room for further development of our economic relations in order to make them more sustainable. Regular meetings of the Intergovernmental Commission on Trade and Economic Cooperation can contribute to the diversification of cooperation spheres. Using this opportunity, we would like to invite Romanian companies and investors to participate in joint investment projects in Azerbaijan, in particular restoration and reconstruction works in the liberated Karabakh and East Zangezur economic regions. Romanian transit operators and logistic companies can take advantages of the middle corridor passing through the territory of Azerbaijan, as well as attractive conditions offered in the Alat Free Economic Zone located on the Caspian Sea coast. We touched upon successful cooperation between Azerbaijan and Romania in the humanitarian fields. In this regard, we noted with pleasure the implementation of several charity projects in Romania by the Haidar Ali Foundation.